Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Connor Williams and you are back watching Wrestle Wrap. That's right, today we'll be doing a different video. We normally do Raw recap, SmackDown recap, pay-per-view recap. You can check those back out on the channel if you like them, and if you do, leave a comment, but I'm probably going to stop doing them because, well, if you've watched Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, you don't need me just talking over them and rating them. Today's video is the direction I'd like to go in the channel, where we do top fives, we talk discussions, and we just brainwave instead of the same old, same old. Also, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday is quite a lot in the week for me because I've got other stuff going on, so that just, the whole scheduling was a bit of an issue. But today's video, we will be talking about something very, very hot at the minute, and that is none other than the Royal Rumble. That's right, the Royal Rumble. How exciting! January already. The road to WrestleMania is this. It's there. It's this close, and it's exciting. Well, it is and it isn't. We'll be getting down to that in the video. But yeah, guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the channel. More importantly, like, because I'm trying to battle the algorithm here. At WrestleMania, it will be me versus the algorithm in a TLC match. I'm grasping at the brass ring, and I don't think there's many more metaphors for wrestling I can get in there. But yeah, without further ado, guys, here's the video. So, WrestleMania, the Royal Rumble, the topic today: who do you want to win it? By it, I obviously mean the Royal Rumble, because at WrestleMania, they're not always guaranteed to win it. Who would you want to see win the Royal Rumble? I saw the betting companies, a couple of them have given out their favourites, and there's some big names, there's some interesting names, and we'll break them down now. And if you disagree, guys, please comment down below. That would be fantastic, and we can just have a proper discussion, and can't we, in the comments? And if you point out that I'm wrong here terribly, I'll address it in the next video. We can do more, you know. Even if worst comes to worst, get some of you on here, or like, well, not on here because COVID, the rest of the world. This is a new channel, but like, you know, we could have a topical discussion. I can share your thread, and yeah, or ring up or whatever. So yeah, well, without further ado, we'll break them down. Number one I've seen is Goldberg. Yeah. We'll get this one out the way now. I think that's best for everyone. I personally don't want this. I don't think it's a good idea. Obviously, with Roman Reigns being the champion, it makes sense. Goldberg wins it. They have the match they should have had last year. I don't want it. Pure and simple. Goldberg's not had a good match since he's returned. They've been sloppy. The one with the Undertaker, he actually nearly kills him going for the jackhammer. The one with Braun Strowman last year, it was his matches are like Brock Lesnar's. They're over very quick, only Brock Lesnar's a lot more athletic, a lot stronger, and weirdly enough puts on a better 60-second match than Goldberg will. It's, you know, punch, kick, spear, jackhammer if you can get them up. Again, he's tried it against a couple of men and can't get them up. Don't do it if you can't do it, mate. You're not who you were in the 80s, just don't do it. You're putting people at risk. It just also feels like this, for me, would be the big name. Goldberg, Reigns, Thwum. That would be the big name to sell Mania, which I know Vince is a massive fan of. He wants, you know, it's the reason Randy Orton was headlining the last year's with Edge. He wants big star names that will bring in people, which is daft, because if you just develop your stars, you could have that alone with the hardcore fan base. But I guess it's the nostalgia. It's Goldberg. People who haven't watched the wrestling since, you know, WCW might watch it again to see a childhood hero there. It's the nostalgia they bank on. I don't think against Roman it'd be a very good match. I think it'd be punch, kick, Superman punch, spear, jackhammer, drive-by. I think you could, you know, ultimately guess the match, and Reigns would have to go over, in my opinion, because he's too hot now to have Goldberg crush. But saying that, he did it with a Fiend, so who knows. But yeah, I personally don't think this would be a good idea, guys. I'd love to know your opinions on this. I think it's a no-go for me. And I think it'd be a very short-sighted thing to do. I personally wouldn't be excited for WrestleMania. The more exciting one will be number two. So number two, guys, we have None other than The Rock. That's right, The Rock. He would be incredible. He would be absolutely phenomenal as a Royal Rumble winner, and this would set him up with Roman, and that would be hot shiz. Nobody can argue with me right now that that wouldn't be hot shiz. All right, you've got The Rock, you've got Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, the head of the table. The Rock comes back and goes, "You forget about me." I still think The Rock would have a great match, more so than Goldberg, shockingly enough. The only problem with this one would be if you can convince The Rock to do it, because obviously he's now a full-time movie star, and an injury to him will cost him a huge pay packet. Not saying he couldn't afford it. The Rock is loaded. He brought the XFL, but it would cost him loads, wouldn't it? He can't act if he's injured, and that's a lot of promise. But I think the match would be good. The storyline would be good. Jey Uso fits in, and Jimmy Uso, when he's back from injury, fit in. This would be fantastic. I think this is the dream. I think in Vince's head, this is the dream. In my head, this is the dream for Roman. This is your best of both worlds as well. This is a Roman Reigns versus the big nostalgia name who can wrestle. He can wrestle still. And the thing with The Rock is, even if he doesn't wrestle that well, he is that charismatic. He is that energetic. He will draw. He will draw more than Roman, because more than Goldberg, because I think he'd get the hardcore fans going. Yeah, you know what? I'll very happily take this. I'm saying that as a wrestling fan now, that's been a fan since little. I think this would be a great match. I think it's got to happen at some point. Why not? Why not now? You know, hopefully. Well, I say hopefully. Ideally, I think Vince would like a Mania where it's not behind closed doors again. I'm obviously from the UK, so I don't know what America's thing is, because we don't hear it that often here, because we've got our own problems with COVID that aren't going away. But I don't know if it's any better in America. But personally, I'd say if it was in the UK, I'd say March. It's unlikely you'll have March, April. I don't think we'll be COVID free here, and the States is massive, so maybe not there. So do you really want to pull that big of a match behind closed doors? No, but then can you hold Roman a year on from this? Because he's hot right now, and you can change in a year in wrestling. You could be hot to not, or he could be 10 times hotter. I don't know. Personally, now seems like a good time, but it's a shame it'd be behind closed doors, wouldn't it? But yeah, guys, that's The Rock for me. I'd say I'd say it's a good match, but let me know. Do you think it'd be a good match? You know, let me know with all of these. I don't want to keep saying after everyone. You just let me know. Okay? Yeah? Can you do that? Can you let me know? Yeah, sound. Number 3. I've seen Edge. Edge is heavily rumoured to win the Royal Rumble. This one, I don't know who he'd go after here. Would he go after Drew? Would he go after Roman? Battle of the Spears again. It's if he can get fit for it, can't he? Which I'm hoping he can. It'd be nice to see Edge win the Royal Rumble. It'd be nice to see Edge win a world title before he hangs up his boots properly. Because it's the same with Daniel Bryan, who's slowly leaving now. When they come back from such a horrific injury, you know their time will eventually come where they'll have to hang up properly. And Edge is at the age anyway right now where, you know, he could have been hanging up anyway. But I think it'd be really good. I think maybe you give him Drew, just because I think him and Drew would have a good match. But then, is that not face versus face? But Edge could play the heel very well, and if anyone's going to turn heel, it'd be Edge, because I don't think Drew would be a very good heel. Roman, it'd be a good face against Roman. That's the problem. You got the heel and thingy, and I think Drew will go on to Mania as champion. I think Roman will go on to Mania as champion. I don't think they'll change. But Edge would be a very good one. We learned last year he can still put on a good match. It was a bit slow. It wasn't what we used to, but the man hasn't wrestled in years, and he's had a neck injury. He's got to be careful. Now you'd have the problem. He's had a year off again. It's still same injury. You know, I don't think you'd be getting him doing very much with his neck. But I would personally like to see Edge in a world title shot. I think out the two, I'd rather him do it with Drew as a heel, Edge being a heel. But the problem is, you know, it'd pop if he won, which maybe that's why the live stadium would work. Not having a crowd will work in their favour. Other than that, a lot of it would be all Roman here, because a lot of the people that people want to win are faces, as we'll get onto in our next pick. Number 4, guys, is Keith Lee. He would be a face again. Unfortunately, I think all of these are going to be faces. Um, Keith Lee, that's an interesting one. I've heard rumours that Vince doesn't like him for a number of reasons. I'm not too sure if you can actually name it to one, apart from he just doesn't like him. But apparently Vince is finding it hard to struggle on who's popular and who's not because no crowds. But saying that, Keith Lee is now number one contender for Drew McIntyre's title. So, as at the time of filming, so I don't know. Does he like him? Doesn't he? That's a tough one. Lee would be good. I think now he's in this title picture would be a good indication on whether you pull the trigger, because it's a face versus a face. And the only issue I have with Keith Lee, and I don't want this to be controversial because I actually really like him, I think he's fantastic, is what's his character? Randy Orton, he's a heel. Sheamus, he could be a heel. Keith Lee, could he be a heel? I don't know. There's rumours that he'll join the Hurt Business. I think that'd be great for him. I'd love to see him as a heel, I think he's got the build to be a monster heel. But if he joined the Hurt Business, he'd see Bobby Lashley out, in my opinion. He's a lot more intimidating than Lashley. But I don't know. I guess this is where you see, can he hang with him? The character is the only thing that bothers me about Lee, because he's a fan favourite that everyone loves because he's just an incredible talent. He's just incredible. In NXT, he was always face, to my knowledge. And he faced against heels that were a bit more, I think one of his better rivalries was actually against Johnny Gargano, because Gargano's a great heel and Lee was a good face. But I don't know. I think if he won, it'd be good. But I don't know if Vince likes him. I don't know what the issue is there. I think my biggest issue with this is, do I think it'll happen? No. So it's hard for me to say, because I'm like, well, it won't happen, so what's the point? But I don't know, guys. You might agree differently. I just want to get this across, though. I do actually love Keith Lee. I think he's fantastic. I think he works so hard. His moveset's incredible as well. The Spirit Bomb, the height he gets on the thing, it's like it's the last ride mixed with a power bomb. It's fantastic. He really is a phenomenal athlete. The character is, sometimes I struggle to see what the character is other than brave face, courageous face. And I don't know if Vince really likes him enough to pull the trigger this early. So I think if we were talking Keith Lee as a heel in the Hurt Business, I'd be saying go for this, give him the belt. I think he has the potential to be a really good monster heel. The arrogant heel that the Hurt Business are thriving on. I think that would be incredible. We don't know though. Again, message me if you think that would work. Number 5, we move on to another powerhouse, which is Big E. He won the Intercontinental title. Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods have left now, and you do think this is Big E's time. I think this is well overdue. I think he was good when he was with Ziggler and he left. I think the New Day came along though, and that went into a bit of its own, and you couldn't step down from that either. But I loved it. I think he will be a very, very good wrestler. I think he's world title material. He's got the build, he's got the athleticism. Again, another big man who can move incredibly well. He's very athletic, very charismatic. I know who Big E is. He can play the monster heel. He's done it before. As a face, he's a bit of a... We know who he is as a face. He's funny, he's entertaining. He might need to ditch that to be taken as a credible... I don't know. I don't think he would. I think Big E could pull off throwing pancakes, kissing babies, having a laugh, the dry humping, the twerking, and still be a world champion. And I think he would bring in so much as a merchandise as well. When Kingston won it, he didn't change his character. He was a bit of a scrappy underdog though, like DB. Daniel Bryan, but I think Big E would bring... I think the kids would love him. I think he'd be so good. Merchandise-wise, the New Day are class. Big E is a champion. Imagine how... They could even do that, when they do the title design or something wacky and different. Do that, people will buy that. He would be so good money-making, business thinking-wise, in my opinion. I personally would be very happy seeing him win it. He'd go against Roman, and I'd say he'd have to beat Roman. That would be such a good match. I think that's the only way you see this going out. Whereas Keith Lee, who I've just mentioned, as a heel against McIntyre would be fantastic as well. I think you need to separate these two again, Raw, SmackDown, and I think Big E would be perfect as how he is. I think he'd sell loads. I know I saw a couple of people going, he's going to have to be more strict. And I nearly said it then, but no, I don't think he would. I think if anyone can do it, it'd be him. But there's my top 5 for the men's side. I will do a women's video and post it out soon. Like I said, guys, if you agree, disagree, let me know. This is a fair place, you know. If you disagree and you think I'm an absolute wally, let me know. I will talk back and say, well, I don't know. But if you come up with a good argument and I think, nah, Con, you are being a bit of a twonk there, I will admit it. You know, I'm not beyond the reams of self-awareness. And don't forget to like, more importantly, guys. Like I said, it's me versus the algorithm, WrestleMania, for the YouTube Championship. Please help me out. And subscribe as well if you like the content, would like to see more. Like I said, I've got a women's one coming soon. And this is where the channel will be going, more discussion based. And then I'll do some top 5s as well, because everyone loves a top 5. I tell you what, even YouTube algorithm likes a top 5. So if you get into YouTube's books,